Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I'm out here doing a video. See how I'm doing them mainly these days. I do different ways, but anyway, I came out here and forgot my camera, which is my cell phone, which is my camera I use. Went back in the house, and there was one of those warnings on the TV that we're under a severe thunderstorm, and that was surprising. We haven't had any rain in I don't know how long. Temperature right now is 90 degrees, and today is June 19th. It's Juneteenth. Anyway, I thought I'd add a little vlog to the first part. He's out walking the dog, so I'm going to be a little bit distracted. But I can see him in my rear view. Anyway, this video, I was thinking about this earlier today, and this is not my first time to think about it, but I wanted to term it a different way. I was thinking about trauma bonding. I've been thinking about that lately. Trauma bonding, and I'd always seen it in a different way. I mean, I understand that it's what it's about, but really what I have seen is a bit different, and maybe I was confusing the two, so I'm going to separate them and make it make a little bit more sense. I hope. Never know with me, but let's see if I can do it. Okay. Now, back when I was a sophomore, second year university, long time ago, I took a class. It was called the Psychology of Learning. I think that's what it was called, the Psychology of Learning, and it was a let me see. I think it was a senior level class. I took it with too many hours, too many classes, and two plus two. I think I had 4 or 5 classes and 2 labs. Whew, it was a bad job. I never should have done that. And it was tough because I was a second year and it was sophomore, and it was I think a senior, like I said. And while taking the class, we learned all about positive and negative reinforcement, punishment, rewards, all this stuff, and it was deep. Okay, I got interrupted. He walked back in with the dogs, and I asked him if he saw any clouds, and he said no. Okay, so anyway, I don't see them where I am either. It's coming from the southwest. Anyway, but I called the class myself. In my mind, it was about brainwashing, as to how people brainwash other people and animals. Yeah, like I said, it was a long time ago, and but basically it was, how to do this, and then you get this result, and so on and so forth. And I'm guessing, yeah, they didn't call it trauma bonding. Some of the terms that you hear these days about, like so much people pile under narcissism. That it's not always narcissism. It's not always narcissistic behavior. I do the same thing. I see a blend. I say that I see a blend of, like, cluster B is narcissism, a narcissistic personality disorder, and DSM, cluster B, narcissistic personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and borderline personality disorder. I never liked the terms. They haven't always had those terms, the names, borderline and antisocial. Antisocial, it was always, from what I remember, that's a long time ago, it was psychopath and sociopath. Psychopath, the way I was taught, I've said this before, psychopath is somebody that focuses on, like, one person or one set of people, like family, but usually just one person. And sociopath is that they don't care. It's just anybody in society, That's how I always saw it. But anyway, some people say that those don't fall under that, as it is, or that they're the same. Things change as time goes by. But anyway, the trauma bonding, it's with a T, trauma. They to get back to this, say an abusive person, what they do is they use this, they will give you, like, it's intermittent reinforcement, rewards and punishers, or reinforcement and punishers. Like, they can treat you good one time, and then treat you bad. ministry, bad, 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 good, 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 along this line. Never the same kind of pattern, just varies. And it winds up building this really strong bond. I want to say Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. That's something else to look up. Stockholm Syndrome. It's been a long time since I studied those. Very long time. And I hate to admit it, but very long time. And I've heard of them again since then, of course, but it's not something that I focused a whole lot of attention on. Like I said, that class kind of bothered me, and then again, another time, that kind of thing bothered me when I was had finished my bachelor's. I had double majors, psychology, sociology, and I went to a post-bac in business, and they were using the concepts of that class, not purposefully that class, but the same kind of concepts I learned in that class. They were using that to teach people. They were teaching that to students who are business management major, how to do that to employees. Yeah, that I was like, oh my goodness, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. No way, no how. And totally against everything I'd ever learned. They were using it to, mess with the minds of their employees, their staff. And the only thing good out of that class is I remember reading on the blackboard. It wasn't actually a blackboard, chalkboard. Was it said, "Does Pavlov's dog ring any bells?" I thought that was the most hilarious thing I'd heard. Yeah, at least in that class. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling here, but that's okay. I just woke up from a nap, and yeah, I'm waking up. So, hey, to get back to the trauma bonding. Yeah, it's ongoing. It's something that happens. Some people say that's how a person develops complex post-traumatic stress disorder. That is not yet in the DSM. Then whenever they make another one, maybe, or a revision, maybe the, what is it, ICD, which one is it now, 11? I don't know. It has it in it. But anyway, the new one. Anyway, but yeah, it's about just the same thing happening over and over, this kind of cycle. And the person, the victim, is, they develop a kind of a loyalty, in a way, to the person who is the abuser. A strange, some would say a strange loyalty, but like I said, study Stockholm Syndrome and trauma bonding, too. Yeah. And, let's see. I wrote some notes here. And, the person who's abuser is looking for, I've experienced this myself, is, looking for some kind of like, love. They're looking for love. And also with that abuser, they are looking for the abuser to make things seem better. Like they go through this kind of cycle of abuse and, rewards and so forth with that person, and then they feel like that person makes them really, really sad and cry, and then they want that person, the abuser, to make them feel better again. I have felt that before in my life, many years ago. You're looking for them to make everything better, and they do. This is the way they get you, and they keep you in their little cycle. Some of them. Now, this is not a one-size-fits-all with any of this. But yeah, they can keep you that way. And it's important. I'm not here to give any kind of counseling advice or anything like that. And if I say you, I don't mean you. It's just the way I do it. It's just a habit of mine. And even if it sounds like advice, it's not. But really, somebody in that, to me, it seems like, and I want to talk about this in another video about how to start, it's not going to be a how-to, but to start feeling separate from them, just bit by bit, to kind of pull yourself away from them without them knowing it, because, man, they'll start this pounding with this trauma bonding. If they see that you're pulling away, that you're healing, really, that you're practicing things like thinking about yourself, not being not being like them, a narcissistic type or something like that. It's all about them. No, but you're starting to take care of yourself, self-care. and really, starting to think about what you need, because these are people, they start to see you. It's the ones I've seen in my life. They start to see you do that. They will crush everything you like, everything you care about. They will pick fun with you, or they'll just literally crush it if it's an object. It could be like a computer or something. They'll tear it up. Or if you're doing like an online class and they find out, I'm not saying lie, but they'd be lying through omission, but sometimes, yeah, when it's your life, setting up a way for yourself to have an out. But man, some of them, they find out, oh my goodness, it's dangerous. That's why I don't give any advice. Counseling, and to each their own. Some people would say the total opposite. But yeah, these can be very dangerous. People who could take you through this, that trauma bonding. Okay, now I was thinking about all that. I've always been thinking about all these things. I've been through this since I just turned 57 just this month. And I've experienced this since I was born. I do believe. Since I was born, my mom had postpartum depression. And from the story I heard, I was her fourth out of five children. Basically, she didn't want to have anything to do with me. If it wasn't her mother and my dad, her mother had been a nurse and my dad taking care of me, probably wouldn't have lived through childhood. But anyway, so I've experienced these kinds of things, a lot. I've so much. I've done videos on them. Go watch my story videos. I haven't even finished those. So much. But like I said, I have always experienced these things, the most part, with people who have this blend. I call it I like to change the names, and to me it's serious, yet I don't know. It is very serious, and like you hear the dark triad or the dark tetrad. I call them, the ones I see, is the dramatic dark triad or tetrad, and yeah. It's just a little bit the same, but with a twist. Okay, and in this one, the trauma bonding, what I have experienced, because they have so much of this narcissistic and histrionic behaviors. I'm not diagnosing anybody. I don't know anybody who's diagnosed with either one of them at all. But these behaviors, plus a little sadistic on the sadistic side, being had more hedonistic, so forth. But the blend, I call it the dramatic. It's dramatic. I'm sorry. Dramatic, not dramatic. Drama. Not trauma, but drama bonding. Okay. Yeah, drama with a D instead of trauma with a T. But it's that with a little bit of a twist. And I really haven't heard anybody talk about this, and maybe I'm just haven't watched enough. I don't watch other videos. I don't watch other people who do the same thing as I. Never have been one to do. Every blue moon I would watch them, but it would be a very distant. Yeah. Okay, maybe I need a shot of caffeine. No, I don't drink coffee, so it would have to be in soda. Anyway, it's nighttime. It's 8:07 p.m. Anyway, I got the giggles today. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that happens at times. Anyway, now the bit with what I have seen, the drama, like I said, histrionic people to the max. I mean, like I said, I don't know anybody who's been diagnosed, but their behaviors are so far out there. I'm starting to talk like very dramatic, very loud, as I've said so many times. I mean, I'm talking loud in their appearance, loud in their everything, makeup bling, jewelry bling, the clothing blinged, and what do they call that? I never remember what they call that when they put that stuff on their shirts and hats, and they're loud just all around with their laughter is like a cackle. I call it a cackle. It's so loud. It's so obnoxious. They don't care where they are. They don't care. They want attention. They want to be the center of attention. Doesn't matter if it's negative or positive, they don't care, they want attention. They will ruin things, the bad ones, the evil ones, the pure evil. And they will do anything to be the center. They don't care, like if you're in a funeral and it's not about them, they want to try to make it about them. Somehow, some way, they want to get the middle of attention. They're going to cry really loud. They don't care, And now there's another thing that they do that, like I said, I see it a blend is with narcissism and histrionic behaviors, narcissistic and histrionic behaviors, a little bit sadistic. Is this with drama is, and I've mentioned so many times before, it's a word I really like. It's calamity. Okay, now calamity is something, usually thought of as some major disaster. Something, usually it's something about, like I said, some kind of major disaster. And in the world, like right now we're under a pandemic. It's something really big, really bad. Natural disasters. Something like this that cause a lot of harm and all. Now, let me get to that. All right. So they have a calamity in their life. Okay, let me get to that. This person with the narcissistic history on sadistic blend, this abuser, they have some kind of calamity come up. Okay, it's not a calamity for everybody in the world. It could be, but let's just say for them. And say you're not with them at the time, and they call you on the phone, and or maybe you are right there after it happens, something, or they get a phone call, and you don't know what the person's saying on the other end, and they're always very dramatic, theatrical, loud, like I said, and but you don't know what's really going on, and or they get an email, whatever it is, and you're there, and something happens, and they tell you that something has happened that's this big issue. Say they work from home and something happened recently and reminded me of this, and this is similar to this. It's this huge thing, huge situation that they tell you about, and they put it off as some kind of calamity. Well, you hear it and you think, well, it's really not all that big, but you're so used to that person being like that, blowing everything out of proportion, making everything seem huge, that to them it is. So it seems. But what you don't know at the time is it is not true. It is just something that, like, they did get an email, but they used that to make up some story in their mind to do this drama bonding with a D. Like I said, drama bonding, as I've seen it. Yeah, they found some way that works like a charm. Because unless you're checking their email, which you're probably not, you're not that type, you don't know. You don't know the truth. But they do that to make you go through this whole bit of a cycle with them. That they're feeling so awful, or so worried, or so, so dramatic, like I'm trying to act like, so much, and you're going through it with them because you're feeling, you're empathetic. You feel put yourself in their shoes. And it brings you through all these. Now, I could say physio-psych was not my best subject. In fact, it was my worst. But yeah, it just puts you through that chemical thing. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but kind of reaction within your body because of all this drama. And then it all starts to work out. Now, like I said, you don't know that they're just making this up, or they're blowing things out of proportion. They're putting it out as fact, and you have no way of finding out, is it true? You have no reason to doubt it, even. So they put you through that whole process of going through it with them. You're trying to make them feel better, and you're trying to give them help and advice. Let's talk it through. Let's work it out. Let's see how, work through it to see how you can best, work out whatever situation it is, whomever, with, like their boss or whatever. You help them. You try to help them. And so you're going through this. And it's got its up and downs. You see? Up and downs. and with their behavior, and with as dramatic as they are. So they're getting attention, and they're doing what they want. And that to me is that their kind of bonding, traumatic bonding. I call it trauma. Yeah, trauma. That's what I used to always call it. So they put you through the emotional ringer, run along, as if they're going through it, but they're not, because they made it all up, and you don't know that, but you're going through it. Okay, and then they just lather, rinse, repeat. Every blue moon, they'll come up with something like that, especially if they feel like you're kind of pulling away, or they want to keep you all, like a roller coaster. Along in the mix, it's basically they're gaslighting you. There's so many things that can be involved in that. Gaslighting is, but how I've always seen it is, they try to make your reality not real. They're telling you your reality is not real. I was telling Adam today that I remember when I was a child, my dad took me to Galveston Island in Texas, and we were driving, I don't know, I think it was called Crystal Beach. Well, I can't say, yeah. But there's a whole bunch of these out there, and my neighbors are watching me again, sorry. There used to be, I don't know what it is now, but somewhere out there, he told me, you see that, it was a house with a lighthouse or something like that, or just a lighthouse, I don't remember. He said that was where that movie Gaslighting was filmed many years ago. He showed it to me. I was telling Adam about it, and I said, I tried to look that up, couldn't find anything, and I was thinking, and he was thinking, Who was my dad? Anyway, just kind of flat out lying. Maybe, I don't know, I couldn't find anything. I think I did one, but I don't know. Anyway, to get back to the subject now, but yeah, that they are creating these dramas, these calamities, these, big major issues going on in their lives, and they're so dramatic with it. Some would just say they're pathological liars. Someone would say they're just having fun with you. People who don't want to believe that there are people out there that they spend their lifetime doing these games, these mind games. And some people don't want to believe it. They just don't. And did we always? Well, I think I pretty much always, because I grew up with it. I've had it my whole life. So nobody has to tell me, nobody has to think that I wouldn't believe you, that kind of thing exists. Now, I might not believe your story, but that just depends. I did a video on something like that. Don't know what I did with it. It's probably why my camera says I don't have that much room left. Because I probably have that video on my camera. I need to upload it. But anyway, kind of rambling, like I said. I'm not going to have any caffeine. I don't want to bouncing off the walls. Do that enough already with just a little caffeine in the morning. Once I get the caffeine, before that I'm like this, kind of not making much sense. But I do wonder, I wonder, I haven't really heard people talk about that, about so much that they have heard, have been around people who do this, what I call drama bonding. Yeah. Allergies are getting to me, sorry. I keep cutting it off. I always do. But yeah, the whole thing of just making up these calamities, making up these huge stories, and it would follow like a stream, It's not just like out of the blue. It would be that things had led up to it, that you wouldn't so much doubt them, because so much has led up over a long time. It just made me think of this. When I was a child, the only kind of, because of my dad's religion, the only kind of holiday, he believed any of these holidays were pagan rituals, and like Christmas. And he was a Christian, but he believed that the way people celebrate is a pagan ritual. So we weren't allowed. And it's a long story for another video. But, the only thing that we were allowed to participate in was April Fool's Day. And believe me, I got really good at it. Really good at April fooling people. And that just surprises me to this day, because I'm usually the perfect little angel. I was always perfect little angel type, seriously. And I had to be, or it was practically the death of me. I wasn't. But that was the day I was allowed. And I went full force with them. And there would be something that would be leading up. Okay, that's why I mentioned that here. It would kind of like you're connecting the dots, and they would connect. And then April Fools, and my dad said I was so good at it. He said, "I don't want you doing this year." When was it? This year or last year? Adam told me the same thing. You're not doing that to me. Nope, nope, nope. I said, I don't have to. I said, I don't have to do anything on you. You're going to think that I would so much, still, that you'll do it to yourself. April Fool's yourself. And he did. I don't remember how it was. But, yeah. Anyway. But that's dangerous. That kind of thing, it really, that they have these stories, because especially, like, think of somebody who's very protective over their spouse, and this is spouse who's doing it, and he or she, and they're very protective, and they just go a little too far with their protective behaviors. These things can be dangerous. So anyway, I'm going to run out of room if I keep rambling, but if you have a story to tell, leave me a comment below this video on YouTube. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.